New Year. Okay, I'll start. The time we spend together arches the sun into crescent moon, clutching your rays in my specks of beauty marks, swept into the curve of my back. This moment collapsed in a blink. Our sleeping arrangement bends constellations beneath the blanket of royal blue, engulfing me into your gaze, swallowing me so definitively my jaw quivers with excitement. The void transformed the galaxy to ocean, and I was plunging. I traced the cluster of comets stamped along your inner thighs, chasing shooting stars tucked in the collar of your smile. The pull was irresistible, steadily drifting together into your orbit, one breath at a time. After our souls thundered a storm, a heart-pounding meteor shower, the rain steam rushed nervous adrenaline to my brain. With every pant of lightning, I knew our bodies were made for a love more than what could be felt on Earth. Like how the galaxy expands from aging, we are still so young, so heavenly, fiercely burning entities, caught in each other's gravitational clutches by chance, doomed to dull into celestial fossils dating back to when the solar system began, when we were the entirety of existing. Like how tenderness billows from a distance, nebulas are bound to collide again, fulminating into the next sphere. By then, the hands I've held become phantom prints, molded into hollow sculptures containing remnants of a faded flame. I hope your departure is only a cycle, for the moon only takes 27 days, 7 hours, 43 minutes to complete a revolution around Earth. For you, I can only wish your homecoming to return to me is in this lifetime. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. Thanks, everybody.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Sophia Page. Sarah, if you could drop Sophia Page's social media handles in the chat, that would be awesome so folks can follow their work. That was, wow. I can't wait to see the transcript of that poem. I can't wait to see that poem published somewhere. That was really beautiful. Um, and so on deck, we have M. Marbella, who is a past feature of ours, but coming to the stage right now is I think this is their second time performing at Luya, second or third time, but they have been kind of around our Luya spheres for a while. Please give a warm welcome to Ina.
Hello. Thank you for holding this space. It was super fun last time, and really glad you're doing this queering of Lunar New Year. I just have a couple of poems. This is called My Love Needs Dough. My love needs dough on the counter, the hills of her hands just as the soft white mounds palmed tender, so tender. She knows I hate stories where the bread's the bread and the milk's the milk and everything in between is butter. You see, the shape's not the shape, the milk's not the milk. Sometimes everything between is jagged and too much sugar means the dough won't rise. But already a trail of ants crawls hungry to the sweetness by the bowl. What an uneasy feeling holding the shape. So I examine the sounds of evening, a cloudwork of steam and yeast, an owl in the small wood outside hooting echoes into my ribs. In dreams, fingers into dirt, grit stone, sand and bone, and upon waking the lines of an inward life appear slow, no longer remaining hidden. But I take my love's hand. Here we are, quick little sparrows flitting about, turned slow dance on the old hardwood as toes kiss cold kitchen tile. This life, much softer than, I'll draw her, breathe her all in. And this other poem is called To the White Kids Who Compared Me to an Oriental Rug. True story, middle school. I didn't say this to them, but I wish I had. Anyway. Don't call me egg roll queen, soyback, seaweed sucker, dirty mushu, yellow monkey, flat faced ping pang gink. Don't call me Twinkie when I act white, bruised banana when I'm just a wannabe. I'm a UFO, not an ugly fucking Oriental, but you're ultra fierce, you're unreal fantastic. Call me a goloid once, I'll call you what you're made of. Poppin' fresh pancake mix. Yeah, you heard me. I'll always say it out loud when I'm told too Asian, not Asian enough. Told I'll never make it past fresh off the boat. I'm not your egghead model minority. I'm no lotus blossom, dragon baby, tiger lady happy ending. When I think American dream, I think developed country nightmare. So don't call me rice cooker, goldfish monger, dog munching, Buddha head. No, I'm a UFO. The plumpest yolk. Your ultimate fabulous. Your unabashed, unflinching fizz. That's all I have. Thank you.
I was like, is there more? I was really feeling that. Thank you so much, Ina. Wow. Wow, I'm really feeling all the queer love tonight. Are we about to just have a bunch of queer love poems? Because that's totally fine with me. On deck we have Hallie, but right now, please welcome a familiar face to our Luya stage, the wonderful, ever talented M. Marbella.
Thank you so much, Chris. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So, like Chris said, my name is M. Marbella. I use they, them pronouns coming to you live from Queens, New York, aka unceded Monte Lenape and Canarse land. Um, and usually I do poetry, but I marked in the form tonight that I'll be doing a story. Um, just a trigger warning for some of you, well, for all folks who need them. Uh, there is sex as usual, lots of gay sex, alcohol use. Um, in this story, I was 16, and the person I was doing was not. And also, I guess, fucking friend relatives of your friends. Um, so this story is called Baby's First Craigslist Cock, aka How I Lost My Virginity. Uh, so, long ago when the world was young, aka 2009, late summer, like late May, early June, I was out of high school because of various mental illnesses. That like I was diagnosed with major clinical depression, and then on top of that, an undiagnosed anxiety disorder. And I was out of school, so I was essentially living it up with my aunts in their bougie ass apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, doing jack shit. And one day I was reading this BL webcomic called Always Raining Here, for those of you who know that type of shit. And in the first panel, the protagonist goes onto Craigslist in search of dick. Now, I thought to myself, I was 16, I was bored, I had nothing to do at the time. So I was like, let's give it a shot. Um, because seriously, at the time, all of my best friends, they'd been coupled up. Yes, that one. They'd all been coupled up. I was like, oh my God, I'm the queer kid. I have no one to lose my virginity to. I'm so sad. Um, and this was before we had apps like Grinder, Tinder, etc. So I had to go to Craigslist. Now, as you might expect, it was like a total it was like really gross, honestly. But in my naive 16-year-old head, I was just like, fuck it, let's keep at it. And then finally, by the grace of some unknown deity, I found this ad by someone who happened to be 19 years old. Um, so I was like, okay, I think I can get away with this. Um, and like we got to talk. I emailed him. We got to talking. He turns out he was also Filipino. Um, he was like a fashion student at FIT or something, and like we got to talking, and I was like, and the thing is, because my aunts, um, so my aunts would go to work, right, and I'd be alone in the apartment. My aunts would come, like two of my aunts would come back for lunch every day. So I just had to make sure that I got him in and out either before they came back for lunch or after they came back for lunch. So I got the boy over here. Um, I am terrified because, well, like it's my first time. I have no experience doing anything. I look up tutorials on how to give head. Um, so it's like, okay, so you've got to, so apparently I learned one that you're when you go down, you're supposed to cover your lips with your teeth, obviously, which everyone should know. Two, there needs to be adequate breath control, and apparently one of the techniques they taught was to make a figure eight in their pubic hair with your nose while you're going down on them. So yeah, before the guy comes over, I like oh shit. So before the guy comes over, I decide to down half a bottle of prosecco for no apparent reason other than my own fear. Um, One of my friends from online gives me the tip to blow him with icebreakers in my mouth, and I don't know why I did this, but I did it. Yeah. And so like we have the experience, it's decent, like he's like 5'4", so I guess that explains why I'm into shorter guys. Go even to this day. But so we do the deed. I blow him with icebreakers in my mouth. I make figure eights with my nose, in his pubic hair, etc., etc. Um, and then I go to my friends to visit my friends in Jersey City because that's where I went to high school and where I lived at the time. Um, with like half a bottle of prosecco in my stomach and icebreakers. That's like all I've eaten that day. So I finally make it back to Jersey City to my friend's place. They're coming home from school because they're seniors and they don't have shit to do. And I'm like, oh my god, guys! I finally swiped my fucking V card, and they're all excited for me. Yay! Um, I go to my friends Stephen and Katrina to the kitchen, uh, and um, I was talking. I added the guy I'd slept with on Facebook, right? So then I turned to Stephen, and I'm like, oh yeah, Stephen, the guy I slept with. I think you might know him. His name is EJ, surname redacted. um, um, and then my friend Katrina, who's listening to the conversation at the time, her face goes she goes really quiet. Her face goes bone white, and then she walks out of the room. And I turned to Steve, and I'm like, Steve, what the fuck happened? And she was like, and he was like, Mike, because that's how letters called it. Mike, that's her cousin. And that's how I ended up sleeping with one of two of my friend Katrina's cousins. Thanks, Joanna. I'm over time.
Wait, so you mean there's a part two of this story where yet another cousin of Katrina's?
His brother.
So next, Luya. Make sure you come to Luya next month to hear Ben's second story.
Return of the Jedi. I'm dead.
Someone in the chat said Chismis level 300. Wow, truly. Yeah, I love how we started at like queer tenderness and now we've like fast forwarded into something entirely different. If you couldn't tell, Emma's a protege of Reggie Kabiko. I just want to clear that out there. Wow, that was amazing. Let me get my bearings because I'm just like laughing so much from that story. Can we just a round of applause for Em? Can we just like telling us all how they lost their virginity? Amazing. Yes, Grinder can still be queer tenderness. Okay, on deck we have Aaron, but right now we have Hallie. Hallie, are you here? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Hallie, welcome to Luya. And I just want everyone to give Hallie extra love in the chat because it is their first time at Luya, right?
Yeah. Yay. Okay, so this is on the theme of queer love that we've been having. This is a poem. It's called For So Long. She sparkled in the sunlight. her aura radiant around her, her brown hair flowing, her smile twinkling in the light of the sun, all things I've missed for so long. I miss the way she used to sit on desks, the mesmerizing way she would have her hand in her back pocket as she spoke, the way her cowboy boots would strike the floor as she walked. Her energy gave me life, something I now so greatly need. Without her, I feel shriveled up, like a plant on its way to greet death. I have wanted her aura for so long.
That was beautiful, Hallie. Thank you so much. That was such a gentle and tender poem. I love that. I hope you can see all the love you're getting in the chat right now. And I just want to echo whoever said something about cowboy boots. I like just the vibe of a girl in cowboy boots. Nelly in the chat just said, "Oh, I think all my crushes wear cowboy boots." And wow, Manelli, where are you hanging around? I haven't seen anyone in cowboy boots around me. I need to go hang out where you are, clearly. Before we get into our next few poets, I do want to remind people that like all of our open mics, Luya does not have tickets or anything. We just have a suggested donation of $5. If you don't have it, don't sweat it. I know everyone is, in various states of employed, unemployed as a result of this pandemic and our government's lack of ability to do anything that benefits working class people. Um, but that is a conversation for another time. But yeah, the the money that you donate tonight goes to supporting our feature, because we should pay our artists for the work that they put in, and for gracing us with their presence. It also goes to the general upkeep of Luya. Zoom costs money. Our captioning service costs money. Also, Syra and I have other jobs, and we spend our free time doing putting together shows and putting together workshops for y'all. So please, if you got it like that, $5 is our suggested donation. You can donate to us on Venmo at Luya Poetry, or on Cash App, $Luya Poetry. Or if you don't have either of those, we also have a PayPal. It's paypal.me/Syra Uklo, I believe. Syra is going to drop all of the info on how to donate in the chat. And I highly suggest that if you are someone who, for example, works in finance or tech and has a, great salary with benefits, that you donate more than $5. But that's just me. I think you should redistribute your wealth. And with that on deck, we have Yaz. But right now, this person has previously featured at Luya, is one of my favorite poets, and I'm so excited that they're gonna show off. I hope they're gonna show off their new hairstyle on this Luya today. So please make some noise for Erin Kong, everybody.
Woo! Hello, hi, my name is Erin. I'm coming from Akamila Odom, Ho'akamin Odom land, and today I will be sharing a free write with you all that I did today. Content warning for mention of death, ghosts, and imperialism. All right. We belong to each other. Your father's Hyundai flying down the highway at a looped blur of 80 miles per hour because you asked the fastest speed I was comfortable with you driving, and I have 102 ways I am afraid of dying. We play Taylor Swift on a loop because you asked what I wanted to hear, her voice rasping above the ruined chills of the unmarked road, fever dream high in the quiet of the night. The dust doubles under the cruel pull of gravity in the absence of evergreen, but we inhale big gulps of the horizon anyway. Sometimes it feels like everyone we love is dying and we are their only witnesses. Who doesn't want to be seen for the ways we try in spite of all inherited violence? Romance requires freedom. Freedom is an infinite word few possess. We were born belonging to each other, which certain men with demoned intentions, twisted and wrung out of metaphor, chimeraed godless timelines. Every Sunday, I step over ghosts to do laundry. In the corner of my eye, spirits reach out their palms, but when I turn my head, the hallway is empty. I saw an ancestor once. I tell you this at the next rest stop. You lean against the trunk of the car, stretching your shoulders towards the sky. Your bones crackle under drizzles of desert heat. Arthritis, you say. Everything in our body rots before we do. Across miles of dense salt and cratered earth, the frames of my ancestors lay scattered in fields, unnamed, undressed, unmourned, colored refractions in the soil catching yellowed light, the only proof they are there. Sometimes I think they were reborn in me. Sometimes I catch a feeling and I know it is not my own. Do I carry every spirit never laid to rest? What does this do to the living? It happened like this. I woke in the night around 4 a.m., turned to where my lover lied, above the bed, wearing a hat with a half-formed child sitting on their shoulders, the outline of their form scribbled purposefully in the dark, eyes shrouded, stance strong. I do not know what it meant, but they allowed me to bear witness to their standing in the doorway, like a memorized and suddenly remembered parable reminding me of prayer. What is protection? There is skin, and then there are other ways to recount the dead. They knock on the door of my kindest ancestor and take off their coat, their shoes, ask not to enter, but remind. I am trying to remember everything that's happened, but there's so much. We belong to each other, which means even my flesh is not my flesh, not my hands. Everything I write is channeled from somewhere else, a magic unbelonging but wholly mine. Mine being everyone who has come before, who loves me. Every child laughs when I laugh, every parent sings when I sing. I am the accumulation of their beings, their pains, their genders, their lust, their vengeances, their mischiefs, their heavy sighs. No blood-soaked system could ever contain all of that. The sun shrinks into bruised hue. Without saying another word, we step back into the car. You turn the ignition and we all move forward, yours and mine and ours. With the sky cradled by absence and the earth hollowed out, you let me find you, which is to say, they all love me too. Thank you.
Erin! I just, I, I'm like, can we just go to intermission now? Like, I need to go take a walk around my apartment. I have so many feelings. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know if anyone reads N.K. Jemisin, but I finished the Broken Earth trilogy today, so I was already like a raw edge, and then Erin just like stepped on me with that poem. That was fantastic. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for being here and reading poems. And I saw someone in the chat said that poem was a free write. Is this true? So for folks who don't know what a free write is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when you just write whatever comes out of your brain. And I'm just like, wow, Erin's mind. But where I'm like, I'm like, what's our lineup? Who's next? Okay, I've got it. I've gathered myself. Jeremy, you are on deck. But right now, this is another person who has been coming to Luya for years now, I think. Yeah. I don't know when the first Luya was that you came to, yes, but I'm always so happy to see your face and see your name on the sign up. Please make some noise for Yaz, everybody.
Woo! Thanks, you all. My name is Yaz, she, her, they, them pronouns, and yeah, I'll be performing a piece for you all, one piece for you all, and this piece is titled Romance. And content warning, this piece has sort of covers around like anti-trans violence, IPV, and fuckboys, because fuckboys are always fuckboys are triggering. Yeah, so this piece is called Romance. If someone were to ask me why I don't have a boyfriend yet, the answer is more complicated than you think. I often have to travel through multiple galaxies, planetary alignments, and the hurricane that is my memory archive in order to gather an answer. So I usually have 3 answers in my purse depending on the situation. Answer 1. A higher power uses me as a guinea pig for character development. To foster fuckboys like children, to bathe them, to feed them wisdom, and to help them cross the street because Lord knows they can't cross the street themselves. To spend every ounce of my aching body unpacking their bullshit. Then I send them out into the world to find their true happiness. While I am left on the cracked sidewalk, constantly thinking if that energy will ever come back to me. Answer 2. I am attracted to men who either want to kill me or want nothing to do with me. The ones that desire me in the darkest shadows of 3 a.m., but never the brightest day of 1 p.m. Because my body is a vampire. My body's for everyone else's reflection but my own. Romance is about power. It's about who is desirable like a trophy and who is disposable like trash. Who will obtain pleasure, and who will be left to measure their self-worth in centimeters. Who will live and who will become a statistic only to become misgendered. So I often focus on my survival. The only way I can claim my body is if I become a permanent gatekeeper. Lock up my body like a treasure chest and never let anyone who is not worthy of this gold. Answer 3. I am part of a movement to fight for a world that is greater than me, where girls like me can exist in public, where our joy is displayed on every building and billboard without harm, where we can make magic out of the ashes of our ancestral trauma, so we can pass down turmeric, sage, cinnamon, and eucalyptus to the next generation. Where land is not a commodity, but it's collected and sacred. What we take from the earth is what we give back 100-fold. To create a home that is abundant and unlocked. With that type of world making comes with sacrifices. Will I fall in love? Sure. I hope that self-preservation, community, and kinship will be the love story of a lifetime. Will someone fall in love with me? Only space and time can tell. So those are my answers. They'll be hanging on a billboard for the world to see because I have nothing left to lose but my chains. Thanks, y'all.
Oh, yes, that was so beautiful. So many lines. And I'm so excited to welcome this next person to the stage. They are also a previous feature of ours. They used to be in Chicago, but now they are living it up in New York City. They are a multidisciplinary, magical human being artist. I'm so excited to see your face. It's been too long. Please welcome Rohan, everyone.
Woo! Hi everyone. Chris, I miss you. Oh wow, it's yeah. So I guess I will first acknowledge that I am doing this work on Lenape land, and everything I do is for not just Black and Asian collective solidarity, but everyone's freedom and for Native sovereignty. I also just wanted to send my love to the whole community. I know current news is rough, and especially for us as Asian Americans, but you know, I love you all and we're here. Anywho, so this poem I wrote a few days ago because I was like an emotional wreck. Let's see. Content warnings, some graphic imagery, some gay sex. What else is in here? Is that a content warning? Is gay sex a content warning in this group? I have no idea. Yeah, some explicit language. And here we go. This piece is called Concubine to the Rabbit God. 1. I gave my heart to the rabbit god, and he ate it. It sits within him now, aglow past his flesh, and I gave it to him freely. I chained myself to the stone table. I gave him the blade and begged him to carve it from me. He plunged the knife, and the pain, it vanished. Only shadows of chains remain, things that drank once from my life force, the names of men lost in a sea, the myriad of faces that said my name but floundered in the tempest, the mouths that gnawed on my skin but could never kiss my heart, the now which sits in the stomach of the rabbit god. I told him I don't know how to live on without the one who was perfect, the one who bore the storms. He said, after a rough night, I would walk the next day. For the rabbit god is a callous one who knows the harsh truth, the slow lesson we all deny even as we stand before the afterlife. I gave my soul to the rabbit god, and he devoured it. I belong to him now. He said he would take care of me. For now, I lay with nothing left in me to give. I gave my breath to the rabbit god, so no other man's name would pass over it. So I would never inhale another man's neck or loins, so no man could ever breathe into me again. I belong to the rabbit god, he who bids me kneel. I bleed naked over his silk robes, leashed round my neck, the leash I put on myself. I stare into his eyes, my face paling like the midnight moon. I await the rabbit god to release me. 2. I see you bathing in a river of dust, a floating sea, the remnants of ancestry. I see you set sail for afar, for the war has called you to ride off in a golden chalice upon an ocean of air and fire. And I watch, silent, bound, and leashed, as the echoes of my heart fly with you. 3. He watched me watch you go. He warned me this would happen. The rabbit god knew. He sat on his throne and waited, watching as I wrapped myself in my own sorrow, too scared of the risk of storms, too afraid to speak the words of nebulas and constellations, the words that tongue the dust, the words that reveal all, the words of romantic sacrament, dust and stardust. The rabbit god had only a sad frown when my hand spat white tears onto his calligraphy paper. He gave me the ink, and I was too frightened even to write your name. I begged any other god to hear me, but none other than the rabbit god turned. 4. And so I wait, handmaiden to the rabbit god, bitch to the rabbit god, useless concubine to the rabbit god. But he promised I could go. When the sun rose from the west and the sky turned white, and every river in the world ran ink as black. So I submit to the rabbit god. I sit on his knife and await his release. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, the last line. These poets really know how to like leave you just at the end of their poetry. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Rohan. And thank you to everyone who read for us in our first half. We are going to take a quick, like 15-ish minute intermission. So don't go away because we have our feature coming up, Micah Rosegrant. We have the second half of our readers. We have about like 8 or 9 people left after Micah who are going to perform. We're going to listen to some music and just hang out and vibe in the chat. And this would be a great time to donate if you haven't donated yet. I think someone in the chat earlier said hit up your corporate Tinder matches, and I agree. Do that, you know. If you're talking to somebody right now and you're like, and they were like expressing some white guilt, perhaps be like, hey, you know what? Donate to this to assuage your guilt. I'm just saying. Anyways, and also take time to fill out our collective poem. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. So every Luya, we write a collective poem together. And I would really, really like for as many people as possible to write lines in it this month. We will be reading it at the end of the show to close out the show like we always do. So even if you are not on the list of performers tonight, you can still contribute a line to our poem. And it's honestly one of like my favorite parts of the show is seeing how all of us are able to write a poem together despite being completely separated in space and time. And it's anonymous. So yeah, afraid to write. I think we only have one line so far. Let's see what the line is. Thank you to the brave soul who wrote the first line of the poem. You can go to tiny.cc/Luya28. Our theme tonight is liminality. And oh, the first line, of course it's about the moon. Freaking queers, so predictable. Is the moonlight streaming through the window? So that's your first line. Please riff off of that. And with that, I will play some music for us. Feel free to top up your drink, take a little bio break, make a snack, and just vibe. We will come back to you with our feature at 8:45 or whatever quarter two is wherever you are in the world. Bring on our feature tonight. But before I get into the feature, as is Luya tradition, I guess, sort of ish, maybe. I will read a short piece so that our feature doesn't have to touch a cold mic. So I guess content warning for thinly veiled references to queer sex. But I thought this would be the right time to read this poem because it is about queer shit and about love and also about the moon. So this has no title, but here we go. I hold the twin moons of you in my hands. I have been looking for a way to stay the vice grip of time, to fall out of routine and shadow. And now here, a touch and light, a moon glow on the summit of my outstretched face. And there, a little radiant globe on my fingers, your crescent on my palm. We flicker from shape to shape, wax and wane on the edge of breath I am. Yes, yes, yes. So, thank you all for that. And now that our stage is re-warmed and re-energized, I would like to introduce to you all our feature who has read at Luya before, and I am so happy that they agreed to come be our feature today. I'm going to read the bio that they gave us, but I'm going to also drop it in the chat for you all. Micah Rosegrant is a Gemini sun, Libra moon, Virgo rising. So, I think I see the Virgo rising and the Libra so strong in this outfit tonight. They're fond of spirals, Venus, circular time, self-aware auto theory, and the stars. This is so... I'm just like, the sky is gay. According to Luya tonight, the sky and everything in it is gay, okay? Orion is the constellation that appears to them the most, and today they want to thank Legacy Russell for helping them reclaim pleasure in glitches and glitching. Micah creates art and community and can be found online at bit.ly/Micah Rosegrant, which I put in the chat, or you can follow them at Micah_PDF on Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to turn it over to Micah now. Please, and actually, before we do that, can everybody unmute and give a round of applause for our feature?
Yeah!
Roommate!
Come on!
Go up!
Thank you all so much. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm Micah. My roommate's pounding on the wall. It's awesome. We vibing. It sounded like something fell. But yeah, I'm calling from Shawmut, which is unceded lands of the Massachusetts people. a brief audio description. I am a Asian twink in so many senses of the word. I've got my hair blonde. I'm wearing a little flower crown situation moment. It's falling apart. I've got these earrings from two small businesses you should totally check out. And yeah, calling from my room dressed in red lingerie and gold satin vibes. So in the chat, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna start out with a video. I'm feeling so like joyous and like liminal and like, ooh, what's going on? It's like 9:51 on East Coast. So yeah, no thoughts, head empty. Let's just roll this clip. I'll like explain maybe as it goes along or not.
Please give our technical engineer a moment.
Of course, yes. Okay, so yeah, this is like a video I just composed of like, I've been like figuring out how to free my body to sound and stuff and take up space in ways that like feel really comforting as a trans person when my body is often subjected to so many assumptions and nomenclatures and science and other things like that. But yeah, so video first and then I've got some poems. Thanks, y'all.
Sand and branches, dinner time dances. Come with me underwater. It's been so long since we last spoke.
Yeah, I put a spell on you because you're mine. You out here smoking mints, maybe you have insurance. I'm the fucking purest.
In my wish list, like it's Christmas. Boys fishing, you could hit this in my wish list, like it's Christmas. Boys fishing, you could hit this. You ain't getting nothing from the jack clears. Boys, save your tears. I'ma take money like a cashier. Boys, save your tears. Go fish fit, yeah, you can miss this. I've been a good boy, know they want for Christmas. Where'd you get those new shoes? That's not business. You took the soldiers, yeah, you can kiss this. You can hit my Venmo, you can hit my Cash App, you can hit my wish list, you can hit my PayPal. You wish that you could hit this. You can hit my wish list, yeah.
Soft eyes, softer smile, someone you recognize. I think I've known you a while.
shall sit down. We shall sit down. Who shall sit down? 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 We shall sit down.
We're on the other side, now watching over. Better get your life, or the song is over. She got ass to the beat, to the beat, to the streets, gon' fuck it up. Hey. We're on the other side, now watching over. Better get your life, for the song is over. No wildest dream, in my sweet surrender. And if you ever doubt, I'm here, remember. Better get your life, the answer's here, for the song is over. I live in my own home. I live in my paper. The absence becomes me. A reticent specter. Oh, oh, why don't you do as you're told? Oh, oh, happiness isn't your goal. I'm not just a boy, I'm a man. I'm not just a man, I'm a god. I'm not just a god, I'm a maker.
Ah, yay, thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, so those are just videos I'm making. I have like a very strong no thoughts, head empty twink politic when it comes to art making, RN. So I truly am just like, oh, what are songs that are cool and images I can conjure? And then I just like record myself dancing or like moving through space with like my clothes. Because that's art too, question mark. But yeah, I got some poems for y'all. They're all new, never read before, except that's the lie, 2 of them are not. The first one is called Content Warning for Anti-Trans Violence and Sex. Trans deity number 73, not Zeus. The history of God is the story of men, snatching divinity from deities like me. It's indiscernible from our own genesis. A trade feels trapped, so he clamps his boot over breath, baits and is unbaited, is a historical precedent. Sky Daddy, Old Testament without the light bringer, a father issue reigns the heavens and tramples another snake. I flex back my wings like morning star, like goddess of the zenith. I am serpentine and holy and highest at once. This has always been our history too. Sacred dirt crawlers, sprouting flight and soaring, cloud coasting, home to Venus. Yeah, that poem was written after a phone call with my friend Deity, and we were talking about how just in religions across the world, there's a sky daddy that kills a snake just all the time. Recurring theme in religion. Yeah, next up, I just have a couple fragments of poems I wrote in a workshop recently with a poet named Rachel McKibbins. Oh shoot, I'll look that up and post in the chat later. Between a field of honest meat eaters, I crouch into the knees, my mouth severed wide, throat open like a pulpit, a rose in weight of rain. Pennies pour out of my umbilical scar, and their footfalls ripple like cymbals marching fiesta to the porch of Eden. Your mother was the first bruja you ever knew. Lilith in the Bible of taught history. Conjure me again, Amma. Conjure me back uncracked, a glass hippopotamus that never learns the river's name who birthed them. Tonight, we pray another rosary and wish for resurrection. Before I was a faggot, I was a fairy, ungay and unbecome. There must be words for modern magic that undoes older witchcraft. If blood is the technology of father, then I will fill a crucifix with mercury and find the temperature for this rage. It has been 3 years and I'm still mouthing sentences around the selves I didn't know were sickled from me. So that's totally untitled now, but just some fragments of that. And yeah, next I have like a little excerpt from a fiction I'm writing, hopefully like a book, question mark. Tender Odyssey, Leo. Content warning for more reclaimed queer slurs, etc. I fell in love with Leo like a cliche, which I guess is to say like a dam breaking, quickly then all at once. To fall implies a sort of landing, the likes of which I never felt with him. Leo was mid-air. Leo was that ironically fresh inhale of breath accompanying the heart's offbeat when you trip and know gravity will soon greet your body to ground but hasn't yet. I wanted to be falling for him forever. Of course, I knew that wouldn't be true. Of course, I knew that even this want would fade, but those knowings do not wane the original wanting of a forever. I'm not sure any knowing can wane the wanting of any forever. I'm not sure any falling wants the abruption of fallen. I know I am gay because the universe sends me indelicate reminders. The first time I found him was on a train. The first time I found him, he was wearing what I would soon learn to be the normal kind of look he wears. Still, his clothes and he were unfamiliar to me once, and that once is what makes the rest so special. Silk. He draped his soft body, which I had not yet learned is soft, in silk. That's that excerpt. And closing out my little feature, thanks y'all for tuning in. Hope you've gotten some tenderness, some trans ecstaticism through my words and images and sound. This is Howl's Moving Castle after Studio Ghibli. The day I should have known I am gay is when I watched Howl meet Sophie that first time. And I wanted not to be the wizard, the magic twink about to fall in love, but rather the girl he saves. From the soldiers in the alley, from relentless sludging golems of an older power. Oh, I wanted to be scared and lifted off my limbs as we tear into city air, quilted pastel coat and blonde hair billowing behind us as I am held, as I am holy. He teaches us how to fly, and we actually do. I straighten my legs to the lush of his voice, strolling on our personal stretch of nitrogen. As music swells, my heart, a heavy burden, beats into palm sweat sticking on his fingertips steer. We soar because we us, we strangers and skywalkers and time travelers before the rest. And this becomes what I want of love. Not much to start, just a man and me and sky leaping into the unknown at the same time. Thank you. Thanks, Luya. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Everybody who's performing tonight, y'all are so awesome. Like, mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Wait, Micah, don't go yet. Hi, hello. So I hope you can see in the chat that everybody is, freaking out over your poetry and such. And I thought, since we have time and since it's Queer Lunar New Year, like, why don't you tell us, like, what are you working on lately?
Well, I just finished this grant, as you know, Chris. I submitted that, thank goodness. Yeah, I think I'm just working on getting in. I mean, yeah, not to be one of those twinks quoting emergent strategy, but it's truly what I've been reading lately. And I've been working a lot through ease and through trying to get in right relationship with like seasons. So I love this event where we can like
Oh no.
embrace. Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
okay. I'm not gonna make you repeat yourself, but you like right after I asked you that question, you froze. So I lost whatever answer, but great. That was
Oh
great.
my
Thank
gosh.
you.
Okay, great. Yes, glitch feminism tells me that I should not repeat myself.
I want to know more about this glitch feminism, and I also want to know more about self-aware auto theory. I was just
Well,
like
I
reading.
just mean I need the auto theory to just know what it's doing instead of being bougie and like for the whites. I think that was like an at some people.
A PhD in feminist Zoom. Now, damn, well, we recorded this, so on the recording, I will hear your answer. But thank you so much for gracing our space. Did you make your headdress? I just want to know.
Oh my gosh, my friend Michaela Witt made it for me. This was from Halloween like 2 years ago, y'all. So truly resurrecting an heirloom.
It's really great. And when I was looking at like the small version of your video, I thought you were wearing like a lion dance headdress, but like edited and queerified. That's what I thought was sitting on your head, and then now I realize it's like flowers and stuff.
I love
But
that version so much though.
I would love for all of us to just take a second to unmute and go wild and clap and whoop and cheer for Micah. So on the count of three, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Ew. She's so bad. Ew.
Hey.
So coming to the stage right now, we have Rise, and then on deck, that means we have Dina. So I'm so excited to bring Rise to the stage. They are a Luya staple, low-key at this point, and they're always so captivating with all of their performances. So welcome, Rise.
Hey, I'm Rise, and Jelly refuses to be on the camera right now, but Jelly may make an appearance. She's my dog. Um, so this poem is called "Oh Atlantis, I Love, I Rage." If Detroit were some suburban neighborhood in the Midwest, if the fire hydrant busted and hollered water the color of dry blood at the end of the cul-de-sac, if St. Louis was a city of bricks and not turned unsuspecting soft fleshy backs, someone's child's back, if a trust fund boy's child's body burned for 4 hours in the sun, pause. I'm sorry. Content warning, Black Death, and fuck 12. If a Saint if a oh my if a trust fund boy's body but boy child's body burned for 4 hours in the sun, his mother screaming his name at a pitch only a mother scorned could reach, or if Rihanna started breathing in the safety of the ambulance, if the paramedics sprouted wings and flew that square metal truck thing to another planet, if Sandra's cigarette erupted in flames, gulped everything in poisonous bliss, melted her a new car out of pig skin, if the seat belts of Freddie Gray's captors snapped first, buckle bursting open the windshield, kapow. If every 15 minutes steel rungs appeared outside a solitary window, Marsha herself letting down her extravagant 4C hair, Laylene whispering down, ran and ran and ran and ran. Or if lightning was truly the hand of God, if she reached down in all her tentacled spectacular glory, spread herself thick around the neck of every siren and cracked, trees would sprout in relief. Branches would have permission to breathe like they used to without the curse of shackled necks. If tornadoes could choose which building to crumble, to devour and replace with something new. God, if my memory wasn't as old as oral tradition, I could one day maybe get some sleep. Or if the virus kept killing old white men instead of everyone but if the virus kept killing old white men instead of everyone but if the virus kept killing old white men instead of everyone but their invisible currency shrieking into thin air, reincarnating in the walls and sleeping bags of the people as whispers, if the Bible set itself on fire, each scripture coming back a whale, each whale revealing a shark, each shark carrying an elder to shore, oh Atlantis, I think we'd be on to something. I think we'd be closer to something. There is more life, more infinite than the soil of this. And I want to see it. Wisdom indeed is passed down with the pain and survival and love. Ancestors, be with me. Teach me how to let go. Remind me how to be soil. Remind me that I am. Remind me that I've been. What I'm saying is, we shouldn't have to dream of mystical shit, of speculative fictional shit, of superhuman wonder beast ass shit to fucking breathe. But I'll do it just in case. So that's poem 1, and then poem 2 with the tender love theme is untitled, and it's shorter, I promise. See them, whole person. See you, whole person. Then slowly, slowly move. I love you. I love you like I want to survive. I love you like I want you to survive with me. A genuine smile, a laugh unexpected, a person I can look at without fear. Picture your hands, picture mine. Slowly, slowly move. Picture dew from Mama Yamaya springing off the edges of waves, drizzling our palms. We fold. The earth's core forms in our center. We hot brown skin earth. We breathing suns. We weather shifting smiles. Your eyes are pools of full moon, and I choose you. My black and my trans and my pain and my joy choose your black and your trans and your bags you bring. Choose your divine. Let's go. Start here or here. Unzip what we know for sure first. Each trauma goes in its special place. Open the windows. Disappear the dust. I show you the lessons each break of skin taught. How I watch the body stitch itself back. Bodies, they can stitch themselves back. You know, God lined me in gold. I polish you. You polish me. This is a celebration of life now. All these vulnerable pieces of metallic confetti in the air, on the bed, in your face. I bring my mess with me too. Put horror in the drawer, come to you, scattered heartbeat, you, two, my one, I, for your three. We groove healing, we groove movement, we stretch what ifs to magical realism, nap inside impossible dreams, head, shoulders, back, palm, neck, lips, back, palm, waist, hips. I see you. You see me. We slowly, slowly move.
I am just enthralled. Thank you so much for that, Rise. Those 2 poems were so beautiful, heart-wrenching, tender, just everything. I have a request in the chat to unmute. Yes, let's unmute. Let's unmute and show our love for that.
Woo!
Yes.
Yes!
Snaps.
Yes.
Reach.
Sing it, girl.
Thank you so much, Rise. And so that brings us to our next poet, Dina, who is another first timer to the Luya stage virtual space. So show them a lot of love and throw it over to you.
Woo!
Hi, everyone. My name is Dina. This is my first time performing a poem out loud. I had a finished piece, but like the ENFP that I am, I had a muse come to me this morning and I just had to follow her. So I've been editing this frantically all day. It's called Dala, and it was inspired by Dadalhin by the Filipino songbird Regine Velasquez. I was brought here in tow along the lines of the American dream. Dinala ako dito para sa mamuhay na mabuti. Karagang-karaga panaginip Amerikano. A promise of opportunity and wealth not available in the soil sown by my ancestors. I was brought here on a rainy spring day and I watched my mom and dad take one more ligo sa ulan before they taped up our luggage and we walked into the cold metal that opened into California night. 8 years after I was brought here, the economy of this stunningly prosperous nation collapsed. Families and memories, packed up in boxes and backpacks, escorted out their front doors, the fragments of memories remaining inside. Mine, one of them, we stuffed balikbayan boxes and hampers with linens, pots and pans, photo albums scattered, then thrown into cars, worried about the artifacts our life left behind. After days scattered along couches, we moved to a luxury apartment, built for commuters stuffing themselves into the city. And we brought there the blankets and pillows and photo albums, a luxury apartment, too pricey for the roaches that crawled into cupboards, sat in our spoons. A luxury apartment where I watched the cracks in my family fester, angry at displacement, angry at each other, angry at walls not theirs, a carpet not ours. Even the photo albums we brought there began to smell unfamiliar. Every move was a splintering, losing particles of who we were along new carpets and drywall. Pero binitbit namin ang mga alaala, carried in photo albums grown dusty, not used or loved in years, but still carrying the threads through which we are woven to each home, to each other. My mom and dad visited me recently, and we looked through my own, a thick white album plastered with circus animals and Hello Kitty stickers, giggling at young faces who once surrounded me, who grew distant with ocean and time. Belly laughs at our first snow days, our tropical archipelago skin prickling in Sierra Nevada wind. I remember that during our first year here, my dad was sick, and I, not knowing heartbreak, felt his forehead for fever, confused at the skin's chill. He was healthy, as far as skin cells go. They didn't speak to me about it because at 4, who could understand the ripping sensation of moving away from a homeland, a family, a street where you've lived your whole life and imagined you'd grow old in? I did not know that the cold metal stretched him, hands gripping 2 continents growing farther apart as ocean expanded. The phone cards and visits helped as a band-aid stops the bleeding. And I'm still holding onto this memory of sickness festering inside the heart. They say our scars are beautiful, but do they see the keloids, mga peklat, of wounds opened over and over, healed now but reminding us of a pain not easily erased? And now, though we laugh and I feel deep down a warmth, a relief, a knowing that somehow we've made it, I can't help but rub the scars na dinala ko dito that I brought here. Thank you.
Woo!
And you said that was new and you worked on that today. Hello.
Yeah, it
I
was.
hope that everything going off in the chat right now is proof to you that you need to read more of your poetry in more spaces at Luya and others. Thank you so much for you now. And on deck, we have Ayan. But yeah, this is Jay's second time performing at Luya, and I'm so glad that they liked the last time and that they came back. Hi, Jay.
Hey, hey. Oh, it's so special to be here. How am I gonna follow Gaia? I'm Jay. I live on unceded Lenape territory. I was born on unceded Lenape, Munsee Lenape territory. I live in Harlem now. 3 poems. I guess this is a really old poem. There's a lot of warnings for this. I'm sorry. There's talk about weed. There's talk about corporal punishment as a child. There's talk about like guns and shooting. There's talk about my dead uncle. There's talk about like anti-blackness. I'm so sorry. There's a lot in here. It's an old poem. The writer would like to think the following: the bank account for humility, the phone book for extra reading, sativa for last Saturday, and the other kind for Misha holding me down when I couldn't figure out the seatbelt, the chinelas for not being the belt, the belt, my father for being, like God, a poem, the church for not taking his name in vain, the sign of the cross for being replaced by the much easier backspace, the poetry workshop for teaching me how to use the much easier backspace, the backspace as another name for snow, Mississippi for learning how to spell, how to shoot the white man who shot my uncle. From the back of the room, I would like to acknowledge the Pacific for not being the Atlantic for holding space, Matt in that poem for holding Morgan, every white man for being a poem, the Pentecostal church in Brownsville where God took us by our tongues. Praise be to white Jesus in snow-struck weed and street. I am humbled to be among the Most High. As a person who is poem adjacent, I would like to talk about our issue with anti-blankness, but have too many lines to speak. Bless Dinez for every empty page, Audrey for the editor's tools, the backspace as home when the poem was not and still isn't, white space for feeling most brown against, as distinct and not imitation of blank. Thank you to the flight to California that stretches 6 hours across another poem. To whoever invented the plane over the Pacific that holds the old church and my uncle's spread ashes. To the ashes for being the last thing left when Misha took the one-hitter and held me down. To ocean for a day spent loving ocean, the sun for the season of Virgo. To the backspace, the bullet, all the holy things, the holes too. I might only have time for one more poem. So after that, here's a poem that's maybe a little bit more loving. Oh, time? Oh no,
I
okay.
said you have time. You have time. Go ahead.
Oh, I have time. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Okay. Self-portrait with stimulus check I never got. On New Year's Day, Filipino children around the world jump to avoid an average height of 5'6". This evening, I calculate the probability of a ticket times the digits on this credit card. MTA quick tip: the higher the fare, the higher these Converse kick. $2,000 is good for 2 months' rent, but have you ever felt your soles bend and pull apart at the seams? You caught that closing train door so good. Mitch, you'll never know the joy of covering a sneaker hole with gel insoles, how 5'6" gets 6 feet of airtime unassisted by MetroCard. Cy Vance could never. Cuomo's ankles would crack like Corona six-packs on the third rail. Never would I ever discount the value of ripped jeans on a station platform. Frail algebra, 275. Why bother with tokens when the real wash is in the style, under turnstile, turning like so many heads up Washingtons under the Washateria's broken lights. Bless these half-stitched pockets, holy absences, wallets light as the joy we keep. Thank you. It was definitely 4 minutes.
Wow. Yo. I was like in both of those poems, just like catching each reference that you threw out and the way you like wove them together within like the extended theme of like the poem itself. Anyway, mind blown. And yeah. And I just want to say both to Jay and everyone else that we in this space, we don't have to be sorry for like grappling with heavy themes and heavy poetry. We always say that you bring your whole self to this mic space, and as long as you know you're not bringing fuckery into this space, like everything else is encouraged. So thank you everyone so far and to come for their vulnerability tonight, and thank you to our audience for listening. Thank you to everyone who has donated so far. and who has written in our collective poem. As I said, on deck, coming to the stage now is Ayan. On deck, we have Jasmine, and then we have Donna and Syra to finish out the show tonight. So please show some love to Ayan, everybody.
Hello. Hi, sorry. So I hope to perform two pieces if time permits. They're both were wrought out of like I guess heavy introspection during this time. They're both sort of manifestations of love. The first is for my love of flowers. The second, love for a community that, albeit I was an outsider to, I learned a lot from. So the first poem is entitled Tulips. As a young boy, I used to love playing in my front yard. Sometimes I felt if I ran fast enough, I would escape all of my problems. One spring, as I played in my front yard, I stumbled upon tulips growing in an unusual place. They grew in the cracks between the rocks which surrounded the large tree towering over my home. Entranced by their beauty, I stopped and examined them. Red, white, pink, and yellow. Their colors amazed me and brought a smile upon my face. And like the careless kid I was, I plucked them. Excited to show my mother, I ran up inside. And to my surprise, instead of bringing a smile upon her face, a frown grew. She explained to me the fragility of flowers. They are pretty to see, not to touch. Tears began streaming down my face. I had hurt the tulips. My mom told me boys should not cry, especially over flowers. Her words stinging like rose thorns, the beginning of the enforcement of a gender binary. So I dried up my tears and went outside. In a futile attempt, I tried to replant the tulips, only to cry more. From inside the house, I heard, "It's okay. The good thing about flowers is although they are fragile, they are resilient and will find a way to grow back. Sab kuch theek hai, phool wapas aa jayenge." That is when my love of flowers first began. It taught me that no matter how they tear you down, you will always find a way to rise back up. Um, and then the second poem is entitled Maestro. I was privileged enough to spend time in a community, the Mayan community in Mexico, and this poem came after a lot of introspection about my role as a student going into this community and having the privilege to do so. Yo, sorry. You all called me maestro, but not at first. After all, I was a foreigner coming into your community. What right did I have to expect a welcome with open arms? Yet as the weeks passed by, you, mis estudiantes, who would later become como mis niños, began calling me maestro. Every time you all would get restless and bored of our lessons, I heard, "Maestro, quiero jugar," and it was as if a flower bloomed in my heart. And I reply in my attempt at speaking Spanish, your language. But Yucatec Maya was also your language. Claro que sí, vamos a jugar. Running with you all and seeing the joy it brought you when we all played congelado or pesca pesca is a memory I will forever keep close to my heart. It was never tiring running with you or carrying you on my back or painting with you or drawing with you or teaching you how to fold crane or listening to you tell me about yourselves or truth. I did not deserve the title of maestro, nor did anyone I was volunteering with. We were simply privileged students transgressing a line between community work and volunteerism. We did not have certifications, yet you all called us maestro or maestra. Was it out of respect? Was it because we were older? Was it because we were thrust into this position of power? Guilt? Sometimes I still hear it, the cacophony of your voices, mis estudiantes, yelling, maestro, maestro, maestro. But it is not the guilt that weighs on me. It is the fact that I can no longer see your smiling faces. Ojalá que pueda ser tu amigo una vez más. I hope one day I can be your friend once again. And that was the final poem.
Thank you so much for those poems, Ayan. And I don't know if you can see in the chat, but Maddie, Mansi, and Shivani said they love you. Thank you so much, Ayan. Thank you for always coming to Luya. We only have a few more poets left, which makes me sad because that means that we're coming to an end. But on deck, we have Donna. But right now, we have somebody who I haven't seen in so long at a Luya space. They have been an audience member for like years now. And I miss our... I miss Cheese Me Sing with you and John at every single Luya, Jasmine. They have been on the mic before where they showed a short film that they made because among Jasmine's many talents, animating is one of them. But tonight they're going to read a poem for the first time. So show some love to Jasmine, everyone.
Thank you, Chris. I miss Cheese Me Sing with you and John too. Good times pre-pandemic. So yeah, this is a poem I wrote about 2 years ago. I actually shared it with Chris when I first wrote it. So I want to give a content warning, trigger warning. There is rape and sexual assault themes and graphic imagery in this first poem. So do what you gotta do. I titled it Journey. Where am I? I am here, now, fighting rape culture one day at a time. I am a sexual assault crisis intervention counselor, here to give survivors their voice back, not to judge, not to give advice, but to let them take the reins. I believe you. It's not your fault. You have options. My journey to advocacy started 6 years ago. Puffy snow crunched as I walked down an icy path. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Those weren't just my footsteps. I look back. Someone was following me. Run, get away, fight, flight, freeze, can't move, can't breathe, can't see. You really never know until it happens to you. The ambulance took me away from the scene of the crime. Cops littered the area. Creak, creak. The wheelchair went to the ER. My mind was confined to my own self-loathing. The thump, the thump, the thump. Why? Why was I not stronger? Why could I not fight back? Weak. Cops, nurse, detective, significant others. Where were you coming from? Do you speak English? Why were you walking around alone at night? Do you know this person? Did you see his face? Start from the beginning. Where did he put his penis? Where did he touch you? What did he say? What happened? How did it happen? I don't know. Advocate. I believe you. It's not your fault. You have options. I believe you. It's not your fault. You have options. I believe you. It's not your fault. You have options. Thank you. And then the second poem is really new. I wrote it maybe a few weeks ago, spur of the moment, because my friend called me a goddess. So I titled this Goddess. It's really short. You are resilient and you are kind. You are an empathetic soul with a purpose. Sometimes all it takes is meeting someone who makes you feel alive again, sparks a hunger to create, a burning in your chest just waiting to grab hold of all the sensations the world has to offer, a reason to live in the moment and a chance to revel in the goddess that is you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us tonight, Jasmine. And if everyone could join me in taking 3 deep breaths. So first breathe in and breathe out. Second breath in and out. Last one in and out. All right, everyone. So on deck, we have, oh my gosh, I'm just like really excited about that Syra is going to perform at the end of the show. But right now, we have a very amazing performer. Please, I just want to say I really love the lighting that you have going on right now, Donna. Please welcome Donna to the stage.
Hi, hello everyone. This is my second time at Luya, and I'm so happy to be here. Um, so this is a so I have a couple poems. This is a short one about my given name, Donna Marie, that I also go by. My given name is a given, old as a house dress, crisp as the lunch whistle, lusty as a day off. My name is bosom rich and femme holy, burled wood you get lost in, this brown body. My name, your mama's name. My sissy say my name was a nurse, a good one too, humming low over my first holler and hooting my way into my name. Born are acres of fields, alive with song and trapped heat. My name, a Negro spiritual, a legacy or two. Trains of walnut-faced great aunties and uncles dusting the red brick from my name's overalls. My name just got here. It's been a long time coming. That was my first poem. And I've been really just trying to write more about how my family came up from Mississippi to Chicago during the Great Migration. And also I've just been really inspired by the bringing Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to Netflix. I've really just been enjoying rewatching that over and over. Okay, so then this next poem was the first poem I'd written in a very long time, a couple weeks ago. I've been kind of on a hiatus. And it was the day after the inauguration of Joe Biden. Okay. What I first wanted to say was, I don't trust you farther than I can throw you. You could be better. You could be worse. You still are the well-kept slick I find hard to believe in. I fought for you, and don't make my fight in vain. But I'm all fire, no energy. I'm all desperate, no bite. I'm all gone home and bed hidden and sleepy. My bones ache something awful. Your face isn't your face, which also doesn't belong to you. You're a mouse walking into a mouse bar. I'm a mouse in a trap. We're both mice trying to live the purpose out of life. I'm jealous you made it this far, and I worry I won't make it out of bed. I blame you and need you. Unravel that and call it healthcare. Make sense of my desperation for a slow death with no surprises. What I'm really trying to say is, I know you are powerless over whether I live or die. It's easier to blame you than my old coworkers at the bougie grocery store who can live their whole life undecided, unsure, in need of convincing, moderately hateful, neglectful, and easygoing. Racism and its comforts are not entirely your fault. I don't even know you, really. And if you do everything right, you'll never be face to face with my pain. What I'm really trying to do is write the bloodthirst out of me. Once I called myself a pacifist, anti-violent, and never urging to slice another raw and even. I called myself nonviolent, the way an umbrella calls himself dry. I knew it was only a matter of time before the rain made me thirsty to meet, to bloom, to interrupt its sky business. I've been busy watching death get too close for comfort. Maybe being Black just means knowing a lot more about death and power. There's this fallacy that the more you know about something, the less power it will have over you. I know this is a fallacy not because I fear death and it has less power over me, but because white people are obsessed with Blackness. They think we can be known, and thus we can be unfeared. That we are that we will one day be forgetful, that we are owed a million chances, 1,000 revenge happy slaps. I wish I could know what happens when Black people give up on forgiveness. Will we become what hated us? Will new hierarchies arise within us? Can we leave white on the island of nowhere and claim our old gods? I loved going to public school because of that phrase, it takes a village. I am a village burning. I'm a village fleeing myself. I am a village naming my people. Will we be named by our disaster? Will I look back on the day I let hope consume me as the day we became a whole new people? And no, I do not find it strange that my hope is ablaze, is a carnivore. I need something strong enough to contend with all the rage, all the ease in which murder claws into me when the sky cannons another Black death. I never understood how people could claw their hair out, sobbing in their grief. I cut my hair so as not to tempt myself. These days, I grow easily unfurled and disastrous, a vine reaching and covering every window of the house that gave it shelter. I write all of this to offer a rare promise. Disappoint me, and I will come for you and everything you dared to love. I will be kind and sweet, and you will know me only by the disaster I leave in my wake. That's for my boy Joe. I hope that gets to him. I hope he's like super excited to meet me. And then this is my last poem, inspired by Nikki Giovanni's Ego Trippin'.
Yes. Let's go, Nikki Giovanni.
Somewhere in this poem, I forgive my mother for giving me her face and her addictive ass personality and a need for odes just to get out of my own head. I'm a sinkhole, a swollen mouth, you gumball. I'm a jawbreaker, ruthless and sweet, no mercy for your waste of teeth. I'm a car radio on full blast, an undiscovered cave of sound. I eat your echo for lunch. I'm the old school sample, you sourpuss autotune. You're the line we all forgot. I'm the bridge, the chorus, the flow. I'm the foot tapping groove your mama warned you about. I'm contagious and bone rumbling. I worship my shadow because I bring night. You so jealous, you forgot how not to be me. I know why people get caught up. I know where the shook go. I remember the unforgivable. I know why the beat stops. I was there when the melody had its heart broke and rhythm ran it back. I am why. Don't even look upon me. You eye thirst, you swag thief. This vision ain't free. I know why every sound has a cost. I know where every jam goes. Don't pick up that phone, don't start with me. I'm the sweat after the epiphany, the crooked promise of the future, the cavity growing in your mouth like a tapeworm. Before I was ripping the band-aid off your existence, I was my mother's ain't shit. I swallowed her traitor and sucked on her skank. Praise her reckless, or you'd be left bored and docile. Don't even try to visualize her. Your brain too sucker, your heart too chicken, your hope too bonkers. If you're swallowed up by me, my mama will black hole you for breakfast. I'm a record loop, cause she a player. You were audaciously tripping if you thought you could escape this poem. without sacrifice. Don't go begging, because I ain't on that. Forgiveness don't make you immune to hurt. I'm so hurt. I split you for fun and to show you mercy. Time works differently for beings who move in light years and are raised on multiple universes. My mama raised me with multiple versions of my ocean, you sippy cup. I know a truth ain't but a perversion. That's all I have for y'all tonight. Just on my first draft shit. Thank you for welcoming me out of my hole.
Yes, thank you for coming back to read for us. And those were some amazing drafts. I don't know if you saw in the chat I said I thought Nikki Giovanni would be proud of that last poem. And all those poems, they were so wonderful, Donna. Please come back again and read more and write more. And if you feel comfortable with it, feel free to drop your social media handles in the chat. I'm trying to quote you on our Twitter, and I would love to actually at you to attribute the quote to you. That I eat your echo for lunch, just my mind exploded, and all of the other lines from that poem, so wonderful. Okay, so since it is Queer Lunar New Year, I wanted to open up in case anyone has felt super inspired and jolted into wanting to read. If you message me on Zoom, we'll have 2 spots for overflow after Syra. So while you make that decision, I would like to welcome to the stage the right hand of Luya, the person who has been running the tech for the entirety of the show tonight, who is a fantastic multidisciplinary artist and poet in their own right. I heard they prepared something new for us tonight. And so please, everyone unmute real quick and make some noise for Syra.
Hello. Oh God. I'm really nervous. Because and I hope this works. Tonight I'm not reading a poem. It's weird because not a lot of people know this about me, but everybody that has known me for a while does, that before I started writing, I was a singer. Am a singer because I'm gonna sing for you all. So I put together this mashup for this show. It's of two kundimans, which is a Filipino love song, and they feature yearning. And I thought that was perfect for the show. My hands are really sweaty. I'm very scared. The first one, it's in Tagalog, but it's a well-known song, so if people can help me out with the lyrics or drop the English translation in the chat, that would be helpful. Well, and the title of the first song, I'll keep the second one a surprise because it's more recent. The first one, it's Dahil Sa'yo, because of you. Here's my ukulele. Okay, I'm gonna be looking at the chords, so I'm gonna not see the chat. Here we go, I'm scared. I haven't sang in a while. Can y'all hear me while I'm strumming? Okay, I fixed my mic. There's different settings for when you're doing music. Okay. Sa buhay ko'y labis ang hirap at pasakit. sinta ang aking pag-asa dahil sa'yo. Nais kong mabuhay dahil sa'yo hanggang mamatay. Dapat mong tanduin, wala nang ibang gilo. Puso ko'y tanguin, ikaw at ikaw rin. Dahil sa'yo ako'y lumigaya. Pagmamahal ay alayan ka. Kung tunay man ako ay alipinin mo ang lahat nito dahil sa'yo. Red lights, stop signs, I still see your face in the white cars, front yards. Can't drive past the places we used to go to, 'cause I still fucking love you, babe. Ooh. Sidewalks we cross, I still hear your voice in the traffic. We're laughing over all the noise. God, I'm so blue, no, we're through, but I still fucking love you, babe. Ooh. And I know you weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one. And I just can't imagine how you could be so okay now that I'm gone. I guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me. 'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street. Yeah, you said forever, now I drive alone past your street. Thank you.
Wow. Hello? Oh my god! I mean, like, I've heard Syra sing before, but I just, like, have not heard them do it at Luya, and that felt so special. Because they're so iconic. If you want to follow them on Instagram or Twitter, it's just their first name, at Syra. Their art account is also at Psy_art. And I feel like a proud tita right now. Anyway, just like if you have gigs, you should book them because they can do so much. They can do poems and they can sing and they can also dance pandango sa ilaw at the same time that they do either of those things. You know, they're also very well versed in like Asian American and ethnic studies theory. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now. I feel like I'm that one tita at the party that's like, did you know this, and that about my 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 inaanak. Anyway, so I am going to count down from 10, and if anyone messages me during that time, we will have another poem before I read our collective poem. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, nobody messaged me, but if you were thinking about it this time and you were too scared, we have another open mic on March 10th that you can come to, and you can sign up on our Google form. But now I'm going to read our collective poem. I see it's much more filled out than the last time I looked at it. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everyone who contributed a line. Sometimes these go really well, and sometimes they're kind of nonsense, but they're always great. And our theme tonight is liminality. Liminality is often described as a threshold, a period of uncertainty. Pandemic and political uprising have pushed us into collective liminality. Physical spaces can be liminal, but we also experience liminal states of being. So we ask, how has your life been upended or changed over the past year? How has your access or lack thereof to time changed how you see yourself? How does this relate to how we perform our identities in public and private spaces? So here is our collective poem entitled Liminality. Is the moonlight streaming through the window? Let light kiss me as they shower me with their glow. The ethereal gray twilight enveloping my flesh, a woman's body, though the world may say otherwise. Am I made of the same stardust that destroyed you? We lie together, our life together, our light together, transcending the limits of this liminal space. Hey, shout out to the theme. Only a sonata of sighs enveloping us, an interlude of physical melody. Okay, imagery. Are the energies between the planets bringing us together or tearing us apart? There's a lot of planets in Aquarius right now. I don't know how that's landing with people, but good luck to you. Maybe I greet this year with oxhide mentality while space is collapsing, time is collapsing. The stars told me this would happen, 7 sisters of wisdom. We, dearest creatures, heavenly bodies, the flux shift of our push, pull, illuminated by the light of yesterday's nova. We sway in some sacred dance, following footsteps in the skyline. I don't quite know the steps, but you lead me into celestial ecstasy. Our toes glide through galaxies, our souls keep us lifted. Unkempt with energy, we are splashing, we are hot grease, we are star death, we stars don't mind our collapse, we coat the space between each other, the nothings, the infinites, with something shimmering, sizzling, explosions of light, loves, lusts, illuminations, liminalities, lucid dreams, little things. Home has always been the time it takes to make one. An echoing, comforting void, a shiny plant-filled corner, a garden of a bed, a window, beckoning moonbeams to perhaps come and warm the spot beside me. I wish I'd done it sooner, my Lunar. Ooh! Wow! Y'all, hello? Excuse me? Excuse me? What like MFA poetry workshop did I just walk into? What was that? That was amazing. You all are so good. You did that. I did not contribute any lines to this poem. That was amazing. Yes, it was so very gay. And there was liminality in there, there was love, there was Year of the Ox, there was Lunar New Year. Yeah, what? Someone in the chat said Columbia found unconscious. We should submit that poem to a journal. Maybe we should make our own journal. Thank you, Jeremy, for saying that this poem was better than an MFA workshop. Honestly, all shade to the institutions. I was about to say no shade to the institutions, but no, all shade. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Last call for donations. Well, I mean, not really last call because our Venmo and our Cash App exist constantly. So, if you want to donate anytime, you can do it. But you can also donate tonight. You should donate tonight. And yeah, our Venmos, as Sarah put in the chat, is at Luya Poetry. Cash App is $Luya Poetry. Or you can PayPal Sarah, and we will collect everything together for our international friends who do not have Venmo and Cash App. If you're not already following us, please follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. And especially, I think if there are folks in here who are interested in just, poetry and writing and are looking for resources, a lot of writing resources get shared on Twitter. So I would highly recommend making one, even if it's just to lurk and follow poets and lit mags, etc. And we have a couple of things coming up this month. It will be out this weekend, but as we shared in our last open mic, we are doing a monthly we are doing a monthly poetry workshop series this year. Our next one will be on February 27th. Our theme for that one is, I think, bodies. Yes, something to do with bodies. So look out for that on Instagram and Twitter. Our next open mic will fall on the second Wednesday of the month, like it always does, which is March 10th, I believe. Our theme for that is equinox, because it is close to the spring equinox. And also, I heard that it is someone very important's birthday in March. So I highly recommend you come to our March show, because it will also be an early celebration of Syra's birthday. And as a Leo rising, I feel Syra is a Leo rising, not me. I feel compelled to honor that next month's Luya is Luya, but it's also just Syra's birthday party. And a wild Andre has entered the chat. If folks have to go tonight, I don't want to keep you any longer, but if you stick around, I heard that we are going to get serenaded by someone with a very beautiful voice who I always love listening to sing. So yeah, if you want to stick around for more singing, stick around, but if you gotta go, no hard feelings. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Much love to you all. And with that, I would like to invite Andre, aka Dre, to the stage, who is a dancer, a singer, my dear friend, and also my Tagalog teacher.
Yes, hello. I know this so late, so yeah, of course, if anybody needs to go. But I was thinking, especially because Chris was talking about, it's Lunar New Year, and it isn't queer if we're not talking about the moon. There was this song called Buwan, which in Tagalog means moon or month. And so I'm gonna post into the chat. Here is the English. Oh, that was directly to Chris. I don't remember the second verse, so I'm gonna do the first verse, chorus, maybe the bridge and final chorus. I don't know. But yes. Okay. Wait, can everybody hear me okay? Is that fine? Okay, I'm gonna put the lyrics over here because I do not have it memorized. Okay, now I'm nervous. Why did I do this? Ako'y sa'yo, ikaw ay akin. Ganda mo sa paningin. Ako ngayon'y nag-iisa. Sana ay tabihan na sa ilalim ng puting ilaw, sa dilaw na buwan. Pakinggan mo ang aking sigaw, sa dilaw na buwan. Here's the bridge. Ang iyong ganda'y umaabot sa buwan. Ang tibok ng puso'y rinig sa kalawakan at bumabalik dito sa akin. Ikaw ang mahal, ikaw lang ang mamahalin. Pakinggan ng puso at damdamin, damdamin aking damdamin.
sa ilalim ng puting ilaw, sa dilaw na buwan, pakinggan mo ang aking sigaw, sa dilaw na buwan. Okay, that's it.
Yo, what the hell? Ah! I like every time I hear Andre sing, I feel like I'm like, wait, they sing? As if I haven't heard you sing so many times, but every time I'm just like renewed by how great it is. Oh, someone in the chat said your earrings are so cute. Where are they from?
They are from Silang Earrings, at Silang Earrings on Instagram. Silang Earrings. One of my students, Kichi, made them. But yes, thank you so much for listening. It is, yeah, it's kind of a current kundiman, current original Filipino music. And yeah, you're yearning under the moon. How queer is that?
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna keep the Zoom room open for anyone who just wants to hang out and vibe, but otherwise that is officially the end of our show. Thank you so much everyone for being here tonight.